Well, no, I'm new. Believe me, there's a lot of topics that you have to understand. Snipers utilize the Coriolis effect, so when they shoot a bullet, they account for the spin of the Earth when the bullet has been released from the gun. Is this correct or not? Are you going with me on this or no?
You have 3 different wind systems. Coriolis effect is the absolute surefire way that we know that the
Well, the only problem is that they say the Coriolis effect affects water also.
Right.
But there's no water. Water isn't being affected with wind. I'm sorry?
What about the Foucault pendulum?
No, what I'm saying though, let's address the winds first, because what you're saying, you're refuting me, you're wrong. I'm pretty sure.
You don't want to tell her that, buddy.
Well, no.
I'm warning you.
Oh, okay, all right. You might be wrong. You might be wrong. I hear you. Sorry about that. You may be incorrect on that, because the Coriolis effect supposedly affects water when you flush a toilet, right? So I don't know about you, but I don't see any wind down there in the toilet.
Well, it's because of the hemispheres.
Right. It's because of the spin of the Earth.
Right.
It's because of the right. So now with the Coriolis effect, snipers like to say that they account for the spin of the Earth. So that way, when they're aiming, they know that due to the spin of the Earth, and they have to account for that fraction of a second that the bullet is in the air. Now the problem with that is, if that were true, then that means when you got up into a helicopter and that you disconnected from the Earth, you could just hover above the Earth and it would spin. Anybody know how fast we're spinning right now? Come on now, everyone's going to tell me I'm wrong, and now nobody knows how fast we're supposed to be spinning? We're supposed to be spinning 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, right this second. Meanwhile, we're going around the sun in an elliptical fashion at 66,600 miles an hour. An hour, guys, 66,000 miles an hour, we're spinning around the sun.
How are you getting to the point that the Earth is flat?
Oh, well, the point was, did you hear me regarding the, you can see, so you should be able to see it. Now they tell us, they give you a reason for why you see Chicago Skyline. And the reason is the newscaster will go on TV and he says, what you are seeing is a mirage. Okay, so he's telling you what to think, because that's what TV programming is. Programming. Now, hold on a second. He tells you it's a mirage. Now, the problem with that is that a dude named Rob Skiba, who believes the Earth is not a ball any longer, he got a boat. He rented it. And he got in his boat, and guess what? He got lucky.
Ridiculous, bro. That's so funny.
Guess what? He got lucky, and guess what? There was a mirage that day again. So he's able to see the Chicago skyline. So he hopped in that boat, and he drove all the way across Chicago, all the way across the lake, until he was within spitting distance of Chicago. And guess what? There was the same city the whole way in his video camera. So was it a mirage?
What if the video was fake? What if it's all fake?
Well, the only problem with that is that if you can ask tons of people who live in Chicago, and they say it's a fairly frequent occurrence when you can see the Chicago skyline. Now, in addition to that, there are hundreds of videos of people recording land masses, lighthouses.
With due respect, I disagree based on basic science principle of Coriolis effect and the Foucault pendulum.
The Foucault pendulum has been kind of disproven also. You can look into it.
What about pictures of the Earth?
That's okay. It's tough. It's a tough world.
Listening.
Oh, you want me to continue? All right. Let me have a drink real quick. What else do I have for you? Oh, NASA. All right, NASA. Tell me if you find this strange. We went to the moon almost 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never been back. They've never gone back. No, after 50 years.
We've never gone back. On tape, you can literally watch this on YouTube. One of the astronauts, who's like a well-known astronaut, his name is Don Pettit. Okay? He is literally on video saying we can no longer go back to the moon because we lost the technology to go to the moon, and it's too hard and it's very difficult to make that technology again. Now, does that make sense to you?
No.
Doesn't make sense to me either. Now, there are so many anomalies with, now I'm sure you know that there's a lot of people 30 years ago who questioned the moon landing. And what's interesting is things start to make sense as you research the Earth being flat. You start saying, well, in order for the Earth to be flat, NASA has to be lying to us. It's not even possible. Either NASA is liars or the Earth isn't flat. It can't be, right? Because we have photos from NASA that show a ball Earth, right? So you see what I'm saying? So NASA has to be lying. Well, there are so many videos that catch NASA on the ISS. There are multiple videos. There's multiple videos. One is where an astronaut is doing one of his flips where he's proving that he's in space, right? He's proving that he's weightless. Well, in the middle of his flip, he like jerks. He like jerks down, and it's very similar to like if you're on a harness and you're doing a flip and you get like kinked up, you can have like a little jerk in it, right? So there's one like that. There's another one where the guy's doing a flip and he gets out of control, and his buddy next to him takes his hand like this and makes a hook, and he reaches to. He doesn't grab to steady the astronaut. He reaches next to him, right where the harness would be located, and he hooks his fingers and he pulls, and you can literally see the astronaut next to him move with the pull. And not only when that astronaut moves, but the guy who hooks his fingers, when he gets the weight of the other astronaut on him, he gets jerked also.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying? There's another video where there is literally, you can see a harness. You can literally. You're with me, bro?
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm seriously with you. I'm so glad to see you.
Oh, super, man. Hey, listen, I have 2 more signs. I don't know if you live in New Jersey or anything, but I would be love for you. I'll give you paperwork. If you would come out, and the more people we have standing out here, the more we will become not so mocked. You know what I mean? Because one guy, I'm missing a tooth too, man. So it doesn't help the cost.
Everybody mocks us, and that's okay, man. Give me your information.
Man, I'm David Hicks. Yeah, I'm Zoom Space Truth. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Zoom Space Truth is my YouTube channel, and you can message me any way you want. But I'm trying to come out here. I'm going to be out Princeton over the weekend and everything. So if you want to have, it's so fun when you meet people and you get them to actually consider this stuff.
We're on the same level.
Love you, man. Great.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? What's your purpose?
And why? Because, all right, let me ask you this. If you could only live in a world that was either made up of all lies, or you could only live in a world made up of all truth, what world would you want to live in? Me too, brother. And I think there's so much deception out there, it makes me want to vomit. Ever since Flat Earth isn't just about the Earth being flat, okay? It's about medicine. Modern medicine is a fraud. Our government is a fraud. The education system is a fraud. Everywhere you look, it's a fraud. The Catholic Church, it's a fraud. And what they're doing is they're deceiving everybody. And they're doing it to hide, it's partially be done to hide God, but a lot of it is us doing it to ourselves. I can tell you why I am a hypocrite. I call like police and government officials scumbags, right? Well, I own a chocolate company. My family does, right? I derive still my income from that chocolate business. The fact is that I've since learned that, and I knew all along that candy isn't good for you, right? Well, guess what? Now I understand truly how addictive and destructive it is to people. That's why you see all these little kids around who are running around 15 years old and they're all fat and have a belly, right? Well, that didn't used to be 50, 60 years ago. You used to run around, you were young and healthy, right? Well, turns out that our busy season is Christmas and Easter, and I sell all of our chocolates to people who are diabetics, to old people who shouldn't be eating it, to freaking kids who are overweight. So what am I doing? I'm poisoning people for what? For money. But the system requires us to be, right? So the system has made us compromise our morals and our values. Why would I want to hurt other people? Right?
So that's what you're doing.
Yeah. I'd like to. And by the way, I don't have 100% proof the Earth is flat. I believe it is not a spinning ball, but I'm open to being proven wrong. But no one has really done that.
Let me just ask you this.
Yes, sir.
What does it say in the Bible?
Okay, I have a new banner being made with like 20 different Bible verses. Stationary.
The Bible says the Earth is a circle.
It's right. And how? What have you ever? The Bible also refers to ball in the Bible, so they know the difference between a circle and a ball. Now, if I asked you to draw a circle on a piece of paper, you would draw a circle, right? If I asked you to draw a ball,
The same thing.
spherical, right?
Ball.
Right. Oh, but in where circle is referred to, they use spherical. What is the Hebrew word?
Is spherical.
I'll have to look at that. Yeah, that's interesting. The only problem with that, though,
No,
still.
I had the argument with this guy. This was my, he had me at a loss, and I said, he said.
The guy down the way there?
No.
Oh, okay.
This was a long time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Long time ago, and he said, I said the Earth was round.
Okay.
And he says, no, it's spherical. And stupid me, I just accepted it, because of the fact that I know it's spherical.
Yep.
But I didn't know where it was found.
Yep.
I researched it, and it's spherical, and it's the Hebrew word.
I'm going to have to double check that, because most of your Bibles today are literally say circle of the earth, like you said.
No, it does say that. But
right, no, I know the Hebrew, the original Hebrew you're saying, but I'm telling you, I want to investigate that for myself. So I'm not saying you're lying, but I do not trust anybody anymore. And the fact is that there's many other things in the Bible that don't refer to the earth moving. It says stationary and immovable, right? Well, the earth is moving according to being a sphere. So maybe they're saying it's a sphere, but it shouldn't be moving because it says like 100 times immobile, right? Are you with me on that one? It talks about a firmament over our heads. Right, you do say that.
The Hebrew word for the earth is round is spherical.
Yes. Sphere. I think it's spherical.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it. But it's not.
What's the Hebrew word?
Is that the word in the Bible? It says circle of the earth in the Bible.
Yeah, I have to look it up. But it means that, and it actually has a part of that in it. Yeah. Well, let me. I want to talk to you about that.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to mess you up. But there are actually numerous other. Oh, the four corners of the earth, the face of the earth. When you think of a ball, do you think of a face on a ball? Or do you think on the four corners? Where are the four corners on a ball?
It could be a face on a ball.
Where are the four corners on a ball?
I don't know.
Right.
Where it says where the four corners of the
All right, give me 1 second. Can I give people a little quick spiel? You guys, I appreciate, and by the way, I don't mean to put you off. I just want to try to get a group of people too. The reason why I'm standing out here kind of looking like a nutcase, I'm sure maybe, has anybody here looked into Flat Earth? I know it. Cool. So you have a little bit of information. One of the things that really got me that I find really interesting is there's a video of a newscaster, and what they're doing is they're showing you the skyline of Chicago from 50 miles across Lake Michigan, from the shore of Lake Michigan. Now the problem is over a distance of 50 miles, you should have 1,700 feet of expected curvature, and that's according to a ball Earth 25,000 miles in circumference, which is what they tell us. So beyond that horizon, the Earth should dip by 1,700 feet. Now the problem comes in is that you shouldn't be able to see the tallest building in Chicago, nor any of the other surrounding buildings, which are only 200, 300 feet tall. Yet you're seeing the entire Chicago skyline. Cameras are around. Hold on 1 second. Now the guy on the news tells you what you are seeing is a mirage. Okay, so he's explaining that it's a mirage. He's actually programming you, which is why they call it TV programming. But he's telling you what to think. The problem is that a dude named Rob Skiba, you can YouTube him and search it. But Rod Skiba, he got in a boat, and he rented a boat, and he got on and he got lucky on another day when there was another mirage. Miraculous, right? Another mirage, because it happens so often. So he sees Chicago skyline, gets in that boat and videotapes it. And guess what? Gets in that boat and goes all the way 50 miles across while videotaping the same city until he can see it right there in front of his eyes. So is it a mirage? I'm asking you, right? Now, the thing is that that's not the only place. You can see mountains. See, the thing is over a distance of like maybe 10 miles, over 10 miles, you're having maybe like 30, 40 feet of curvature. Nothing. But then when you get to 20 miles, now it's going to go up to like 250 feet. When you get to 40 miles, now you're up to over 1,000 feet. It kind of is exponential. So when you get to 100, 200 miles of distance, people are seeing mountains from from about 200 miles away. You should have multiple miles of curvature hiding these mountains, and yet there they are, right in front of you. That's like the tippy tip of the iceberg. I have more stuff. NASA obviously has to be lying. They have to be liars. If anybody wants, I have all these different YouTube channels. No one has to take it if you don't want to. But there's tons of people who are making videos who are showing all the different ways you can confirm that something doesn't add up. Water. Tomorrow or next time you're at the beach, look at that horizon of water. We know that water always finds its level. They call it a horizon, right? Well, do you see this bottle here? No matter how I turn it, that water always ends up flat on the top. It doesn't try to like conform to the inside of the bottle. So imagine now. Has any of you ever seen water stick to a ball, especially a ball that's spinning? Anybody know how fast we're spinning? You might. 1,000 miles an hour, they say we're spinning right now at the equator. 1,000 miles an hour. Anybody know how fast we're supposedly traveling around the sun? 66,000 miles an hour. A bullet travels like a couple thousand miles an hour, I think. So forget about out a bullet. We're blazing. But we're also moving, the sun is traveling over 500,000 miles per hour, guys. And yet, you guys feel that motion, right? Don't get dizzy on me. No one feels the motion. Go ahead.
Same thing. Why is it that when you're in a car and you're also moving at 80 miles per hour, you don't notice?
Right. Well, the car has windows and, right, it's closed.
The Earth has an atmosphere.
Have you proven that yourself?
Have you proven that you can see?
I only use what I can prove. I only use what I can prove.
What is the telescope?
What?
Show us.
Oh, you know what? That's why, you know what, I am listen, I'm trying hard. I go with what I can truly prove and understand and see other people prove. Now, I've seen them literally, when you watch a boat, go, have you ever heard of the boat going over the horizon? That's the reason why you lose sight of it? Has anybody heard that? Nobody? All right, one of the things they tell us is that when a boat disappears, it goes beyond the horizon. It's going beyond the horizon, and you're losing sight of it because it's gone over that horizon where it starts to dip down. Now, you can get binoculars, like you said, or a telescope, and bring that boat back into view. Now, if we were truly on a ball, that shouldn't be possible. Once it goes over the horizon, we don't have any magic lens that can see around a curve. So the more you look, the more things come up that you can't rationalize. You just can't explain it. Now, what you said is true. I don't have all the answers. People can ask me, how does the sun set on this? Well, there's multiple models that explain, but none of them